Hi, my name's Roma, and I've spent the last year building my name on social media as a men's rights advocate. I'm here today to share with you everything the society has done in the last year and is continuing to do to try to prevent me from advocating for men. The story is way too long, so I'm going to make this very brief. Although this last year as a men's rights advocate has been absolutely incredible, I've gotten to reach millions and millions of people, and I've got to connect with so many of my fans and hear their personal stories. It has also caused a living hell and turmoil in my own personal life. Because I am a men's rights advocate, I am probably the most censored advocate on social media. I have lost a total of 9 TikTok accounts, 2 Instagram accounts, and I've been permanently banned from Facebook. A group of very determined women from across Canada and the US spent their year creating false allegations about me, false narratives, attempting to get my child taken away and put it into social services, as well as releasing my address to the public and giving them step-by-step instructions on how to get here, knowing that I live in the same city as the father of my kid, who tried to kill me with a metal baton nearing 3 years ago. The allegations that I face from this year alone include me threatening to beat people up, threatening to burn people's houses down, stalking, abusing my child, sexually exploiting my child, giving her drugs, the accusation that my suicide attempt was actually a drug overdose, allegations of me sending videos and pictures of myself nude to minors, allegations of me traveling to other countries to sleep with minors, even though I don't have a passport, allegations of tax fraud, of charity fraud. The list just goes on. They've composited the majority of these allegations into a petition that they put online about a year ago. In that petition, they claim to have evidence for all of these claims, but yet when my fans reached out, when my PR reached out, when I reached out personally, they will never show evidence. Whenever someone asks for evidence, they always go, oh, go to this person's video, but they never have it, because guess what? None of these things ever happened. Can't forget my car. They also vandalized my car. But what am I on here specifically to talk about today? The allegation that I'm currently facing, which is that I'm a child groomer. This allegation is pushed across all of my social medias, and I need to address it. The saddest thing to me about this is that these allegations didn't stem from there being messages in between me and a minor, videos in between me and a minor. I've never been inappropriate with a minor. These allegations are stemming from the fact that I have a good chunk of my following that are young men, that are minors who are men. And if you look at the definition of grooming, it's building an emotional, it's building a connection, a relationship of trust with a minor so that you can abuse and manipulate them. There's no evidence of that. But no mind, people are still believing it. People are still DMing me. People are still emailing my support team without even realizing that these allegations are not stemming from any sort of evidence, but only simply from the fact that society does not want women to advocate for men. Here are the TikTok accounts of the women who have dedicated the last year of their lives to filling up their pages about false information and false allegations about me. It is not that hard to just go to their page and see for yourself. These women have dedicated the majority of their accounts to what they call calling me out, but what I call baiting people for attention. This girl, however, didn't just only go after me, she went after every single possible person that was in my life. The queen of it all, though? Her, Amanda Moore, the one who called the police on me this summer and ended up getting investigated herself. This woman has carried through with the most allegations about me and my child. And this is the woman who on her TikTok posted step-by-step instructions on how to get to my home and made best friends with the people who attempted to kill me. The type of careless and just hurtful actions that they've made over the last year are the type of actions that get someone either seriously injured or killed. Do these women care that maybe releasing my dress puts my life at risk? No. Do these women care that maybe convincing the father of my kid that I'm abusing and feeding his 3-year-old drugs? Do they care that that's dangerous and putting my life at risk? Do they care that he already attempted to kill me once, so maybe letting his best friends know where I live might not be a very smart thing to do? No, they don't care. You know why they don't care? Because I'm speaking about men's issues. If I was speaking about women's issues, if my page was built on how awful it was to be a woman, they would be right there supporting me, and their pitchforks would be up for anybody who had something to say. Society doesn't want men speaking for their issues. We see what happens when they do. They get called misogynistic, they get screamed at about patriarchy, about privilege, and nobody even takes a second to realize that the majority of the suicide rate is men, that men take up a good chunk of domestic violence. Like, no one stops to think about that. Nobody cares. So the women who want to advocate for men, we think to ourselves, well, maybe we'll have a better shot. But you know why you don't see a lot of women advocating for men? Because women make our lives hell. They try to take away our children. They make friends with the people who abused us. They make up false allegations, and they make every step an attempt to make sure that we are physically harmed. Society doesn't understand equality, because if they did, they wouldn't treat people who try to preach for it like this. They wouldn't have feminists who work and preach for women to have the right to use their voice, who say things like, we must always support women, we must always support other mothers. We wouldn't have those women turning around and demonizing, censoring, bullying, and putting other women's life at risk just because they choose to speak for men. Does it scare me off? No, absolutely not. I'm going to keep advocating for you guys until I take my last breath, and I promise you that. Whether that's incentive for them to take it to the next step, I don't care. Bring it on. You're not going to silence me, especially not through fear. But I will say one thing to those women and everybody else who hates me, every man and woman who thinks that I shouldn't have this platform. I've spent the last year using my voice and reaching people across the world, and I can tell you that it makes an impact. Young men knowing that there is somebody that doesn't want to preach kill all men or peg all men, knowing that that person is out there for them means a lot. Because guess what? As women, we are constantly being fed some sort of validation. You are right. You are correct. Doesn't matter. If you can't pass in a career, don't worry. You still have value as a mother. Men don't get that. They have to work hard. Men's value only comes from what they can offer and what they look like. That's what we teach them. So forgive me if I say, I'm not backing down and I'm not leaving, but I'm also not going to sit here and tolerate being treated like this by society.